Hey there, I'm Jeff Elkins, and this is the Dialogue Doctor Podcast. Today on the podcast Dialogue, Dr. Coach Laura Humm sits down with author Denis Kurlas to talk about writing children's voices and mother-son relationships. Okay, so I don't actually have any things to announce or topics to discuss. So instead, I decided to torture my wife and force her to come on the podcast. She hasn't been on in a long time. We haven't done a podcast in years. In years.
Decades. Just kidding, not decades.
It hasn't been decades. I haven't been doing this for decades. Updates. How are we doing? What is our life update for people who listen to the podcast?
I think the big life update is... I don't really think of a big life update, but I think getting kids back out in college, I miss them. I really had a great Christmas in January with the college kids home, so it's just kind of readjusting to that, you know? I miss them.
Yeah, it's weird. They're all gone.
They're pretty cool people.
Yeah. And now we're like forced in the house with less of us.
Yes, help us.
Help us.
Help. Just kidding.
Get us out of here. Just kidding. It's fun. Okay, second question. Mm-hmm. What's it like to be the spouse of a writer?
Oh, my gosh. I knew it. Oh, gosh.
Genuine perspective.
Genuine perspective.
What's it like to be the spouse of a writer? Do you like it when I talk to you about weird screenplays I want to write at strange hours of the day?
Yeah, I honestly have to say the fact that seeing this side of you and this creative side of you has been really good, because I think this has all been there. It's just been lost in other responsibilities. But I feel like the fact that you get to create and dream, and it's interesting.
Okay. That's nice.
Even weird conversations about directors.
Yeah, weird conversations about Lynn
today.
Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or me saying I'm going to write a screenplay about all of our parents' deaths. That was probably
I'm all
weird.
For it. I think your brain is like none other, and so I'm always fascinated about what's going on with it. Because, folks, there's not a lot going on in my brain, okay? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Best story you have consumed in book or video format recently?
Book or video format?
Whatever story. Like, what story has popped to you recently?
Okay, I'm not...
You watch stuff all the time. There's no judging taste here. You can whatever you like.
Well, the newest Bridgerton thing just came out.
Yeah.
I really like that. I've always been a huge Outlander fan, so I really like their new season and take on going back before. It was kind of a cheesy rendition of it, but I like the
Outlander prequel
thing that they did.
Yeah.
I really like historical fiction. I eat that up. Anything that kind of makes history come to life.
Yeah.
I love.
Well, and the Bridgerton did a good job putting a new spin on Cinderella, which I didn't think was possible.
I love that. Yeah.
I was impressed. Yeah. I was like, oh, look at you guys.
And I really like the being able to kind of recreate history a little bit, and adding the way she adds different races, having the fact that she's a black queen in Bridgerton, and just kind of mixes all of the race. I really like that. Almost as if it really should be like that.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay, any final thoughts to Dialogue Doctor listeners and Dialoguers, community members?
Oh my gosh!
Final?
Sorry, I'm not prepared for this, guys.
I literally just grabbed you and was like, "Hey, I don't have anything to say."
This guy's a genius. He thinks about you often, and he is always thinking of new ways to get new information to you. And I think he's just one of the...
Oh,
I love you. Our dog is growling at me, so come
on. Our
on.
dog is very jealous when I talk to my wife. He's like,
come here, puppy. Come on.
She's not allowed to talk to anybody but me.
All right. See, now he's in my lap.
So now he's on the lap.
He's
the dog
now
is on the mic.
Podcast.
He's licking my table, which makes me think I dropped something on it.
I think the community that you are creating with your writer friends, people, is inspiring, and I think it's different than anything else out there. And I've looked everywhere,
You're an
folks.
expert on
I'm an
writer
expert
communities.
on writer communities.
There is no greater expert, actually. You are the greatest expert on writer communities of all time.
I really am.
You are.
Because I listen
yeah,
to
genuine.
you talk about it all the time. Just kidding.
Because you have to listen to me rant. I only say positive things.
Yes, of
It's
course.
not true. All right.
Did I get, was that enough?
That was great.
I think you're awesome. I can't say that
Oh,
enough.
thanks, babe. I love you. That's not why I brought you on here, but thank you.
Sure. You can pay me later.
Say more. All right. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Okay, the only announcement I have is please keep August 22nd and 23rd free on your calendars. Sometime in the next week, we're going to release tickets for our first ever large Dialogue Doctor conference, and I'm super excited about it. It's going to be in Baltimore. We're lining up some speakers right now. I have lots of dreams who I want speakers to be, but some of them will write my emails back. You know who you are. Return my emails. Anyway, it's going to be really great. We're going to do a full day of a conference and then a full day of a workshop with the Dialogue Doctor coaches. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you will join us in Baltimore on August 22nd and 23rd. Okay, that is, let's get into the episode with Denis and Laura.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Humm. I'm one of the Dialogue Doctor coaches, and I have the pleasure of being here today with Denis Kurlas. Denis, we've been working together for a while. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about your story and your journey and all of the goods?
Well, this has been a long journey, I can tell you that. It's been over, well over 15, 20 years. It's kind of hard to believe, but I have been working on this project for a while. It's literary fiction, I would term it. But I have to admit, which is a good thing, in the last couple of years, meeting you and Jeff, I'm really kind of, really making progress. So it's good to be here, and I appreciate the help.
Yeah, absolutely. We love working with you. I am in love with your story. I just think that I don't usually, if anybody has ever listened to anything that we do, you've probably heard me say that literary fiction is not my favorite genre. I love your story. I think you have the perfect blend of literary fiction with mass market storytelling. I think it's the perfect blend. So
Well,
I'm
I
excited to be
appreciate that.
working on that with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, can you tell us a little about the scene we're gonna read together tonight?
Well, the scene takes place in probably the first quarter of the book of the novel, and it opens up with a dream that my main character is having. It's really a nightmare, and he's on an island with his love interest, and they're there together for the first time on this island in Greece. It takes place in Greece, so it's a dream about an actual event that happened to him. His father was assassinated by the Germans in a village in 1941, in a small village in the Peloponnesus. So he's with her, and she wakes him up, and or he wakes up, and there's there's a layers going on here between
Yeah.
what he's experiencing and what she's trying to help him with
Yeah.
the dream, with the nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. And what I love about this scene is this is not his first dream in the book. And the first dream in the book was a nightmare almost right from the beginning. It
Right.
was about the day that he lost his dad. And now you're telling the same dream later in the story as his relationship with this woman grows. And it doesn't start out as a nightmare the way that it has in other places. It actually starts out with his relationship with his mom and the pride he has, and
Right.
like that love, and then it turns dark later on, right before she wakes him up. And
Right.
I think it was a really smart thing you did as an author, because it could have been really easy for you to use the same story just again, right? Like to
Mhm.
show the repetition of the nightmare, but you didn't. You took it in a really different direction. I didn't know you were doing that. So when I read it, I was like, wow, it felt new, it felt fresh, which is exactly what you want at this point in the story. It still ends in that trauma, but it
Right,
starts in a really beautiful place. So I thought that was
right,
really great.
right. And I don't want to tell, I don't want to show the reader too much about what
Yeah,
happened, but enough that they
right.
keep their interest. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And to show the relationship between the two characters too
yeah,
is important. So,
yeah. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Let's look at it together.
okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, let me figure out if I can share my screen. Okay. Can you see your story?
Yep.
Excellent. So, like I said, I really liked what you did. Um, this is so when I'm editing, um, I'm looking for kind of the reader experience in all of it. I want to make sure that the storyline flows together. That's always the first thing that I'm reading for. And then I want to make sure that the emotional impact is there. And then after that, I look at the dialogue itself, kind of in those different layers. As I was reading this, like I said, I think the story structure that you're using is fantastic. I was surprised by the elements that you included in it. Even you and I having talked about what you were going to write in this dream, you still surprise me, which I think is amazing. You know, from an as an author, I'm always awed by authors when you can take an idea and make it so like real. So I love that. Um, the emotions are definitely already there. You do a really good job with it. You really take us on a journey in this kid's head. I think that's really great. So now we get to the place of the dialogue itself. You've got a lot of really great stuff in here, but this boy is 9 years old, and conversations with 9 year olds look different than conversations with adults. And
Yep.
that was the place for me where I thought you can take this already great scene and you can just make it explosive if you make a couple of changes to make it feel like this is mother and son talking to each other and not the son talking to his teacher. So, you can see in the beginning part here, I have a couple of notes for you that just helped me figure out what it was that I was seeing, and then we can go through the rest of the chapter. Because of what is so good already about your story, if I'm doing an edit like this, and what I'm going to show you is not to edit within in the page itself, but actually take the pieces that you love and move them into a different document and move them around. So you're seeing things side by side as opposed to tracked changes, which you're used to seeing from me, right? Like usually I just get in there and I'm like, oh, we can adjust this line like this and we can move this or add this here, and it's in tracked changes. But because everything is so good, we just want to change the relationship. I think a side by side is a better
Okay.
option here.
All right.
So
Good.
that just kind of helps you be prepared to see what you're going to see, and then lets the listeners know that there isn't just one way to edit. Whatever you're trying to do in your edit changes the style of editing you're using. Sometimes the right thing to do is just use track changes or just make the changes if it's your own document.
Mhm.
But in this case, I think the side by side is a lot easier. So.
Good.
All right, so let's
Good.
get started in this first part. Again, I'm so excited that this is the scene you gave me today because I think this is a really great one. So,
Cool.
all right, take this to your father and the Italian. They're in the castle, his mother said, eyes full of sorrow. I will, the boy shouted, beaming with pride. She handed him a small straw basket full of bread, olives, and cheese. And promise me you will take the back way. Why not the main road past the cemetery, Mamma? The boy asked, cradling the basket close to his chest. Because it's dangerous. But, Mamma, the road past the cemetery will be faster. She leaned over and kissed the top of her son's head. Please, son, promise me you will take the back road. I promise, Mama, I promise. Right? So this is your opening part of the scene. It's beautiful.
Mhm.
You can tell that this boy is really eager to be here and to help his mom. I think that's great. She clearly loves him. But there's some stuff in here that one made me think that this isn't a 9 year old. And then
Okay.
two, You start this opening line with, her eyes are full of sorrow.
Mhm.
But because this is being told from his perspective, I don't actually know what that means, but it felt really meaningful and really important. So when we're looking at the dialogue itself, this take this to your father and the Italian, they're in the castle. Is this how she usually asks him for something? Maybe it is. Maybe she's very like, this is what I need you to do. But maybe having just spent the weekend with my 9-year-old niece, getting a 9-year-old to do something can sometimes need a little bit of finesse.
Mhm.
Can we lean into that a little bit? I did mention, like, is he always this eager to help? Or is he 9 years old and is like, but I'm playing? Or, you know, do I have to?
Mhm.
Or do I have to right now? Um, I appreciated the simplicity of the way you have it because the it's not the focus of the scene. This is leading up to the focus of the scene. But I think that if you want to play with this just a little bit, it
Mhm.
will draw the reader in so fast. And then again, with him saying, why not the main road past the cemetery, Mama? That's a very logical question. Children don't typically start from a place of logic. They start from a place of
Yeah.
emotion. And you get down here in your very next line, but Mama, the road past the cemetery will be faster, right? Like if we move some of this stuff around, we change the way the mother asks, we help the reader understand where this pride is coming from, and then we let the kid be a little bit 9.
Yeah.
It now takes your already smooth, clean scene and it makes it a more emotional experience instead of a, oh, this is building to something
Mhm.
experience. Does that make sense?
Yes, it sure does. Yep.
Okay, so let's do the side by side on this then.
Okay.
Okay, so we have this beginning part where she says, take this to your father and the Italian, they're in the castle. If instead of starting with that line, which is immediately like action oriented, we start with something like, my son, I need your help. And she probably has a pet name or a nickname for him that you can put in place
Right.
of my son, right?
Right.
The woman says to the boy, again, thinking like a 9-year-old, the boy eyed his mother suspiciously. And then you can tell us how he felt, but then what does he do, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
He wanted to continue playing, but he knew that telling his mother no wasn't going to be
Right.
a good option for him. Um, he saw that she was packing a basket, um, and was hungry and wanted to eat before he did anything. Like whatever it is, giving us those feelings that he's having right from the beginning takes us back to being 9 years old and having our mother ask us to do something, and all we want to do is play, right?
Good
Like
point. Yep.
it just gives us that just extra moment. And then again, because moms know how to convince 9-year-olds how to do a job, that I don't know, it's a big job. Can I trust you with it? And that immediately changes his reaction, right? This also gives you the opportunity, instead of saying his mother said, eyes full of sorrow, his mother says that the boy sees the sorrow in her eyes,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And then how
Good.
does that
Good.
make him feel? Because one thing that we often forget about children is that they are extremely perceptive to emotional shifts, right? Maybe he sees the sorrow in her eyes and he knows now is not the time to add more burden to her, right? Or maybe he wonders, it's been such a good day, why does she look so sad, right? And then instead of him just saying, I will, and later, I promise, Mama, I promise, he can say something like, you can trust me, Mama. I'm 9 now, remember? Like,
Yeah.
because children love to remind you of how old they are. Like, somehow the number of years they've been on earth, like, gives them some kind of power, right? Like, just using that language of yeah, I can do it. I can do it. And now you can see just in these four lines, the relationship that these two have developed. His mom isn't just the mom who says, I need you to do this, go do this, and barks orders at him, but she really is like building him up, building his confidence, helping him see the world in a different way, right?
Mhm.
So, and then again, she can lean into that. And obviously, you don't have to use any of this, but the idea is kind of looking at how we can structure it.
Good.
So then she can say something like, well, yes, yes, you are. And that makes you the right person for the job. And then she can have the action of adding the bread, olives, and cheese to the straw basket instead of handing the basket over that already has the stuff in it because we didn't see it happen. You're telling us something versus if the little boy sees it, right? And then he can shout, I am. Um, that should say boy, not the boy, beaming with pride. And then you can add something here to say, beaming with pride that his mother trusted him with such an important errand. Um, or you can have him say, I am, the boy shouted, beaming with pride, taking the basket from his mother. This is going to Papa, right? At the castle,
Yeah.
right? Like let him anticipate a little bit instead of all of the information flowing from the mother to him, right? That allows you to change the feel of the scene. Before we go any further, before I show you the next part of the scene, which we're actually going to do together, what thoughts do you have about what you saw here?
Okay. Um, I'm really like where we're headed with this, first of all, because when I was writing it, I had no idea. I had no intention of didn't even think about having it in a 9-year-old's head, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So this really helps because it's a great idea. And but I was thinking about, you know, like when you have dreams, and this is going to be turned into a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have it? You know, when I dream, am I dreaming in the first person, or am I seeing it happen, or you know, that's what I was dealing with.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of difficult, you know.
Yeah, and that's really true. I'm glad you brought that up. Usually, well, now that you say that, how do I dream? I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
sometimes
How
I
do we
dream in
how do
first
we
person,
dream?
sometimes. Yeah.
Do you
What
see it, or are you actually living it
yeah,
as a 9-year-old? You know,
and what
that's what I was thinking about.
yeah. Well, the way that you did the other one was in this third person close perspective,
Yeah.
where the boy doesn't really have a name. We just know who he is from when he wakes up. And then as an adult, he interprets what he saw. But it's definitely being seen through his eyes as a 9-year-old.
Right.
When
Okay.
you wrote that first scene, you really wrote it that way. So I
Right.
think this third person close that you did, where he kind of sees especially as we get into the next part, um, where he's like he goes past the cemetery, which spoiler he wasn't supposed to do, and he turns his head to avoid what's inside the death inside of it, right? Like we're seeing what he's thinking here. We see what
Yeah.
he's feeling
Right.
in a couple of lines. I think what you have here from a dream sequence perspective
Mhm.
works better than
Okay.
if you were to put him in first person. So I think that
Right.
decision was really
Right.
smart.
Yeah.
So,
Because he's gonna, when he wakes up, he's gonna fill in the details
yep.
of this
Hmm.
dream.
Yep.
He's gonna tell her.
Yep.
He's gonna go more into it,
Hmm.
or about what the dream's about. And she
Yes.
really doesn't have any idea what the dream's about, you know?
Right.
So, all right, great.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. Um, so if you like this, we
Yep,
can keep going a little
definitely.
bit.
Definitely.
Um, okay, so um they tell her, she tells him, okay, now is a good place where she can say, take this to your father and the Italian. They're in the castle, right? Or you can do what we said right before that little break, and he can say, am I to take this to Papa at the castle? However you want to do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then she needs to say, um, promise me you will take the back road. But instead of promise me right up front, she probably says, you must take the back road,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
now, up to this point, it's been like, I'm going to use the word manipulate, but I mean it
Mhm.
in a really positive way. Um, encourage. She's going to encourage him to do what she's asking, as parents sometimes have to do. But now it's not about encouraging, it's about keeping him safe. So you must take the back road, right?
Right.
And
Right.
instead of him going to the place of logic, why not the main road
Yeah.
past the
Yeah.
cemetery, Mama? Instead, focus on this. The road past the cemetery will be faster, right? But again, that's very logical. So let's turn that around to be something more like, oh, but the main road is so much faster. And this is one of those places where, Jeff, don't listen. I'm going to take this so, and I'm going to take it out of italics because you're using everything else in italics. And I might
Right.
add a couple of extra O's
Oh yeah.
because
There you go.
9-year-olds are a little bit dramatic. Sorry, I
That's
had the
right.
wrong. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
now
good.
it's his objection to
Hmm.
what she's asked him to do, not the in as an adult, we get asked to do something. We understand what the ask is. We understand the consequences of it. We can talk about it from a way of why not this instead of that? This
Yeah.
is right. This is, are you sure this isn't the option you want? But little kids, they don't do that. It just comes straight from a place of, but now I have to walk, right?
Right.
Like it's
Right.
so
Right.
much further, right? It's so much faster, however it is. And then she can say, and this is again where you want to decide what kind of relationship do they have. Is
Mhm.
she more of a teaching mama and she's going to say, I know it's faster, but it's not as safe? Or is she going to be the mother that is this is how I say it's going to be, so this is how you're going to do it, mama, which
Mhm.
is like, do what I say and take the back road and don't ask any questions. And you can
Mhm.
kind of figure out which way she wants to go with that. And then you can do the same kind of thing you did up here, or that we did together up here, where it's like she gives him the parental, this is what I need. And then he has that moment in his head, which is like, do I dare to argue with her or do I
Right.
just do what she says?
Right.
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 You can play around with that a little bit. And this is one of those places where you might have to write it once and see what it looks like, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
write it the other way and see what it looks like and see which one you like
Mhm.
better. The way that you have talked about them and their relationship and the way that he thinks about her, and how he kind of sees the world through his memory of her,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
would probably recommend her being the like teaching
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
which
That's
is
what it is.
more okay.
That's
So,
what it would be.
okay.
And then also, it's not that the boy is thinking the road is faster. He's thinking about he can get to his father quicker.
Yes.
And his father and his Italian are hungry. This is during the occupation. So it's a
Hmm.
matter of him being like a hero.
Right.
It's not that, he would go, if he knew he was going, he would take the longest road. He
Hmm.
wants to get up there
Uh-huh.
pretty quick, pretty fast. So that's a little sideline, a little
I
side.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. Um, and then I'll just add this as a placeholder. Um, And again, if she has a nickname for him,
Right,
I would
right.
see her saying that.
Yeah, yeah. Because the whole guilt thing um that's going on here is later. um he should have taken that back
Hmm.
road
Yeah.
because of the quicker road led to all the next
In his
his whole
9-year-old
life, his
mind.
whole life. Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right,
In
right,
his
right.
9-year-old mind. If he had just, which we as the reader don't know it right now,
Right, right,
but
right.
for him, this next moment where the boy thinks about it
Mhm.
and whatever he thinks, and then the mom looks at him suspiciously, mom knows that he's considering in his mind.
Right. And then she could ask the promise her.
That's where she
Right,
makes him
right,
promise,
right,
right?
right, right.
Promise me, right?
Good. Yep.
Yep. So what you have in your original, please, son, promise me you will take the back road. This is exactly where you're going. You want this to be the crux of your story.
Mhm.
But the emotional impact that we have as the reader of this logical discussion leading to this promise me doesn't have that same, oh, I remember what it was like. You really don't argue with your mom, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yep, yep.
you're gonna do it the way she tells us to do it because she knows best in this moment, right? But
Mhm.
this promise here becomes where this dream where he's having this really prideful moment with his mom to now he makes a promise that he really has no intention of keeping, or maybe he has intention of keeping it right here.
He
But
does
then
right here, I
as you
think.
get
Yeah.
into the next moment where
Right,
he's
right.
faced with carrying this heavy basket to making the choice when he gets to the literal two roads diverged in a woods, right? Like,
Mhm. Right. The
you know,
fork in
and
the road. Yeah.
yeah, he has to make that
Mhm.
decision there. So that's how I would change this first part.
Okay, good.
And then your middle part is really good. So the boy promises and sets off on his way.
Right,
And I'm going to leave all of this um, in this other document because this is where I would actually I would copy it out of here, paste it into the new document, and do line edits instead
Mhm.
of doing a carryover.
Okay.
So, um, one suggestion that I would have here
Yeah, yeah,
is you add a how does the boy feel
yeah.
as he sets off?
Mhm.
Down here, as he's walking, he talks about his cousin who's a hero. He talks about he's a Greek hero, nothing is dangerous for him. This is kind of a beautiful description of how 9-year-olds see the world as everything is them being the hero of the story, right? So instead of going directly from I promise, mama, I promise to the boy running as fast as he can pick up the basket, kiss his mother, and start off
Mhm.
down the road.
Yeah,
And maybe he starts telling himself, as kids tend to daydream,
right,
he's the hero
right. Yeah, that's
bringing,
that's where it needs to be. Yeah.
yep, right? So
Yep, yep.
now we know right here that he's the hero because if he starts in his mind from the minute he walks away from his mother to he is a hero on a journey or a quest, When he gets to the place where he's about to take the fork in the road, does the hero take the safe journey, or does the hero risk danger
Oh, yeah.
to get to where he
Makes
wants
sense.
to be faster?
That's logic. Yeah.
Right?
More logic. Yep.
Right? So letting him tell that story. So he ran as fast as he could past the church, past, I'm going to say that word wrong,
Platea.
Platea,
Yeah.
past the village well. Now I want to know again, what's he feeling? You're going to see this as a theme here,
Yep.
right? Is he feeling tired? Is he feeling brave? Is he feeling encouraged? Right? Then he comes to the stone wall of the cemetery. You've got his action. He turns his head away, avoiding the death inside. This is a very adult
Yeah.
action. So
Yep.
keep it, but just turn it into the 9-year-old's brain,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
He
Exactly.
holds his breath so the ghosts can't see him,
Mm-hmm.
or he ducks his head to ensure that, he doesn't, like whatever it is, but turn it into that 9-year-old's brain.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So now you have him thinking about what his mom says. Promise to take the back way up to the castle. Um, I would actually cut this line right here. Um, I don't think he should remember what his mom says until he gets exactly to like he needs to just feel his legs feeling heavy,
Yeah.
like the stones in his pocket. The basket is getting too heavy. And then he looks at the road to see the fast way, the main road, and he looks, because right now you're telling me a few meters past the cemetery, he turned left on the main road to the castle. We're not actually seeing him make the decision here.
Yeah.
We're seeing the aftermath of the decision. So if you turn this around to make it an active decision,
Right.
right? So he sees the fork in the road. If he goes to the left, the hero would go to the left to get his father and his friend the food faster. He must be famished from a full day of, right, like whatever his father's doing, right?
Yeah.
But then this is where he hears his mother's voice. Promised to take the back way to the castle. He heard
Right.
his mother's voice, right? The
Yeah.
boy felt
Yeah.
proud and brave, like his cousin Costas, a hero fighting the Italians in the north, right? Also, just side note to you, Dennis, I love this. Knowing the role Costas plays in the rest of the story,
Right.
I thought this, like, I got to this and I literally stopped reading and I was like, that is how you plant a seed about a storyline. So
Cool.
bravo to you.
Cool. Thank
Bravo
you.
to you. Yeah.
Well, you taught me how to do it. So
I didn't teach you that. You knew that.
you guys have been a big help. Yeah. Well, I'm learning from other people in the community.
Yeah.
That's the beauty behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, so this adding this in here, this little seed here, that is not something that I know how to edit, but when I see it,
Mhm.
I can point it out. This is
Cool.
100% author. I
Cool.
just kudos to you. So,
Thank you.
okay. So, he's running up the road. You have this great thing about he sets the blanket on the ground, leaning against the olive tree, because he's tired and he's hearing the echoes and all of this. I love this. Take this, add this stopping to catch his breath, setting the basket down. And I don't know if there's an olive tree next to the cemetery where he sees the fork in the road, but put this, oops, sorry, make this active decision. Put this element of him stopping um, at the decision point. Because
Right.
once he
Right.
makes the decision, you want the short path that he's taking from the cemetery up the hill to
Mhm.
happen as quickly as
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah.
right? So move this to when he makes the decision.
Right. Right. And I can still use the other part as a little description as he's going up this
Yep.
hill. It's a
Yep.
pretty big hill. I mean, it's pretty.
Yeah. And as he's going up the hill, right, you have all of this beautiful imagery. The donkey's braying, he's seeing the snow-capped mountain even in May. All of these descriptions are beautiful. They're very adult. So what you need to
Yeah,
do is
yeah.
don't change them because he's having this dream as an adult. He's remembering what it was like to walk the road. And this is one of those places where if you were truly telling this from a 9-year-old's perspective, I would recommend you change the imagery, but we know this is a dream. So let him continue to see it this way, but give us a moment of what his 9-year-old is thinking,
Hmm.
right? He's looking at the village below, thinking of all the Spartan heroes that came before him, or all
Right.
the
Oh
Greek
yeah,
heroes that came
that's a
before
good
him,
one. That's a
right?
good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you've got this theme of he's seeing himself as a hero. I think of that scene in Gladiator where Lucius is playing gladiator, right? Like,
Hmm.
and his uncle asks him, is he, I can't remember which hero he uses, and he's like, no, I'm Maximus, the gladiator, and that like changes the whole story. But like, that's what kids do is they see themselves playing that hero role.
Right, right,
Let
right.
him be that hero. And again, it's a nice nod because in in his day life, other people are talking about his name as the hero and all of that. So I think that
Hmm.
works really well.
Cool, cool.
So the theme that you're seeing here is adding his inner thought.
Yep, yep.
So, all right. Now we get to the
It's
moment.
funny. Let me go back
Yep.
to this. It's
Yeah.
interesting you point that out because this mountain, Tagatos,
Hmm.
it does look like a pyramid point, you know. And
Ah,
as a kid, even with an adult, I saw it. It is a pyramid, but a kid would notice that more, I think.
yeah.
You know, I had to have somebody point it out to me that was pyramid looking. Never
Hmm.
thought of it like that. But a 9-year-old kid would
Yeah.
think of those terms pyramids, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, good.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and this is what I love about the way that you write. You take something that is very literary and you
Mhm.
make it very accessible. This description that you use here, it has the right balance of descriptor and emotion to it that lets it be accessible in ways that I think some other literary writers, which lean just to the imagery,
Mhm.
don't give us. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And I think
like you said, you got to get in that 9-year-old's head.
yeah, I think
Yeah. Yeah.
adding that, like,
Yeah. Good.
I'm climbing this mountain, I'm the hero, just gives us that because that's the beauty of a dream sequence, right? You get to
Hmm.
see an event from a different perspective, or you
Yep.
get to
Yep.
create an event that didn't happen, or you get to change things.
Right.
And in his mind, this day started out great. It didn't
Hmm.
end great,
Yeah.
but
Right.
in the morning, you're seeing it and like as I was reading it, I kind of had the sunny morning imagery in the beginning as he's, walking up the hill and he's like feeling all proud and brave and I'm going to see dad and I'm going to help him and I'm going to be the reason he gets to do the thing that he has to do today, right? Like all of
Hmm.
that 9-year-old pride. And then he sees his dad and then there's the beautiful and then the soldier comes in and like everything goes
Right.
dark,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I think all of
Cool.
that is really good. I
Cool.
would recommend in here that because we're suggesting that you move the Greek hero to the beginning,
Yeah.
um, I don't think you need this. There's nothing dangerous about this, and I better hurry.
Right.
Papa and the Italian are waiting for me.
We've already hit that. We've
I
already hit it.
think
Yeah.
you've already hit it. I do kind of like there's nothing dangerous about it, but instead of having it as a standalone, I might add it into his inner thought here. Nothing is dangerous for a hero like me, right?
Yeah.
Like leaving this second part in there, but instead of making it its own point, put it in as he's getting close, as he's walking up this hill, as he can see the castle as he
Right.
crests the hill, right?
Right.
Like let it all happen there instead of pulling it out as its own thing. Because again, this is an adult way of thinking things. I see all of these things and now I think to process them. Children have a tendency to process as they see things. I mentioned to you earlier that I took my nieces to Legoland this weekend and
Yeah.
we were walking through Mini Village and I would see everything and I would be like, "Oh my gosh, look at all those Legos. That looks like this thing and that looks like this thing." And I'm seeing it and I'm processing it the way you have this written, right? Like I
Right.
see all the Legos, I see all the buildings, I see all the things, and then I think about how I feel about it. Whereas my nieces were running around and they were going, "Look at that, look 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 at
Right. Right.
that."
They can feel it
It's
first.
just
Yeah.
that
They're feeling it
like
first. Yeah.
right? And then once they told me about the excitement they had, then it was like, how many Legos do you think that has? How long do you think that took to build?
Then the questions come.
Right?
Yeah.
The thinking came after the feelings. So
Yeah.
I think this is one of those places where if you can merge those two things together, you'll get much more of
Okay.
I'm going to use my favorite word here, juxtaposition
All
between
right.
the 9-year-old Leo and who he is in his real life. The way he is in his real life, the way you have the description first and then the thinking process is perfect.
Cool.
But if we can show the difference between the 9-year-old and
Yeah.
him, I think that
Good.
works really well.
Good. Good.
So, and then we get to the place where he sees his father and the German rushes in.
Uh-huh.
I love what you've done here. I'm going to do side by side again on this one.
Okay. All right.
Oops, maybe I'm going to do side by side again. There we go. So I love this where he starts shouting to his father, "I have brought you dinner," right? And then his father shouts back, and the Italian, who also has a rifle on his back, is excited about the food, right?
Yeah.
My difficulty in this section is I have lost all sense of distance in this moment, right? Because it goes from I can see the castle walls, I can see my father, I'm shouting, they're shouting back, and then I'm right there with my father. So here's where I would pick up and I would, again, think about how close you want him to be in this moment. How much of this happens as shouting? How much of it, like, how close is he when the German shows up, right? All of those things, think about it in kind of the real time. Um, if he's close enough to his father, this is where the realism of what happens can change, or it can kind of, you can stay true to the original story.
Yeah, I struggle with this. It's interesting you're pointing this out because I did struggle with it. It is an action kind of part, but so I was thinking about that exercise you guys did back at the when you had that event in Baltimore there. You were telling us about, you would draw things out and put things into place and stuff.
Yep.
And I was trying to, that just occurred to me, but I was at this place, last week. I was at this actual place last week, and I took so many
So
videos
cool.
and photographs, and I should be able to do it, but it was really difficult,
Yeah.
to kind of, where is he hiding? Is he hiding behind that wall? How many feet away? Those are the
Yeah.
things I'm dealing with, in a dream.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
And this is where I think it's actually okay, because it is a dream, to make things happen faster or slower than they happened in real life. If this was happening real time in your story, I would definitely tell you to lay it out. Here, I think you just need a little bit of anchors, physical
Yeah.
anchors, right?
Okay.
So he sees his father and the Italian smoking cigarettes near the church. Um, his heart was filled with joy and satisfaction. And he began to shout,
Hmm.
Papa, Papa. His father did not hear him. He had to get closer. But, and then I'm going to ad lib here a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
but the basket was growing so heavy, right? And then right here, you've got this pride coming from his father and the Italian. In the original story, um, he actually has to go inside the castle. So that was, and he sees the German inside the castle, if I'm remembering that scene
Well,
right. So this is happening outside. So it's a little bit different,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it is. It's not really a castle. It's just walls of a
Walls.
castle that used to be there,
Okay. So
So it's
it's
really not an enclosed castle.
okay. Well, that
Yeah.
makes more sense then.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
But it seems like, so again, like letting us, what is it that you want us to feel here? Here, we're feeling the pride, and then immediately we're feeling the fear and the trauma of losing his father.
Hmm.
Do you want the dream to turn that suddenly? Or do you want him to not actually get to talk to his father, and he sees his father, he starts shouting, and then that's when like he's trying to get to his father and he never actually gets to his father, and the German comes and he sees the
Hmm.
German, and this is where dream and reality
Yeah,
are
yeah,
different, right? Like in reality, he may have seen the German soldier and been really confused about it or scared because they were scared of Germans and he
yeah,
hid.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
here, it's a dream. His 40-year-old brain or 36-year-old brain, however old he is, 26, I don't even remember now.
yeah.
His adult
Right,
brain
right.
is seeing it differently. And then the trauma is he's trying to get there. He's trying, maybe he does um, he sees the German, oh, learn to type, and knows something is wrong.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah,
he shouts again, Papa, Papa, look out, right?
right, right,
Right?
right.
Like if you turn it around that way, again, that 9-year-old going through the motions, then this moment of the German rushing in, the boy dropping the basket, he's taking cover, the shot rings out, is happening more in the moment, moment by moment, than
Hmm.
it is happening in one big, because this is what
Paragraph thing.
you've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
building
yeah,
up
yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
right? And then him running to his father. Um, but the other thing that you can do here, which is different than the other story that you've told, is in this story, in his mind, he's a Greek hero, right? So here, Papa, Papa, look out. His father did not hear him, or still did not hear him. What would the Greek heroes do,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Oh, but spell hero is right. Right? This is that 9-year-old. He's spent this entire walk being
Right,
the
right.
Greek hero, right? Um, let that moment happen. And then what's different here is he gets to his father and he feels the German's hand on his shoulder, which I think is really good
Mhm.
because that transitions into
Right.
him waking up and his girlfriend waking him up. So, what I would recommend that you do here is you let a little bit of the waking
Yeah.
impact the dream.
I know
So
what you,
right,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, right
yep.
now you've got that hard cutoff. So what would Greek heroes do thinking about the fact that he has to get to his dad? He has to get there, but there's a long way. So he drops the basket
I think
and
what,
runs and shouts or
so
whatever, or he hides.
maybe, yeah, yeah, that's right. So
Yep,
maybe interweaving it within the wake up stage in the dream.
right.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
suggesting? Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but up to this moment, up
Yeah.
until he sees the German and he knows something is wrong, this has been a good dream. So
Right. Right.
his girlfriend, Margot, is not going to start waking him up until this gets bad, right? So this
Right. Right.
first part where something goes wrong and he shouts, Papa, Papa, look out, she's not going to wake him up
No.
there.
No. No. No.
It's
No.
not until this piece where you have him, you know,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's when she's going to wake him up. But if he's hiding and cowering behind the wall and feeling ashamed that he didn't do what a Greek hero did and a Greek hero would have saved his dad, he's actually waiting for the German to leave before he goes to his father. So he can be crying, right? His father still didn't hear him. The German killed them both. I'm gonna just ad lib that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
you'll write that like what does he see? What does he hear?
Uh-huh.
Um, maybe it's not just a shot. Maybe he hears the struggle, whatever it is, um, and leaves. You need to include here the sobbing that he's feeling. He's
Yeah.
hiding, but
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
sobbing because,
Right.
again, Margot needs to know that this isn't a good dream. This is a bad dream. So maybe he doesn't even have to get to his father, because that was the thing is that in his dream, in the first time, the German found him while he was hiding. So maybe he's still cowering. He's crying. I'm not a hero. I'm a coward.
Yeah. Well, I had the German. Um, the
Hmm.
reason I wanted the German there is because I want the boy to run to his father. So
Hmm.
the German grabs him on the shoulder, you
Hmm.
know, and tries
Because
to pull him off. And that's when Margot
that's
steps.
Margot. Yeah, the hand is Margot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think you need him running. I think because in the first dream,
No, he's not running. He's on top of his father.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. In the first dream, he never gets to his father before the German gets to him,
right,
right?
right.
If you echo that here, he knows that his father's dead. He's cowering. He's crying. I'm not a hero. I'm just a coward. I'm crying behind the wall. It's
Hmm.
the Papa look out and the crying that makes Margot know that
Yeah.
it's a dream. So
Oh,
when
okay.
she reaches him, he's hiding like the first time and the German grabs him. So that's where
Got
your
it.
two dreams come
Got
together.
it.
He
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have to get because you have a timing issue if
Hmm.
he gets to his father and he wraps. Now, if he's closer to his father and he's standing next to his father as the German kills him in the way you have it here,
Yeah, yeah,
then it makes sense that he's throwing himself onto his father.
yeah, yeah.
But if he's
Yeah,
hiding,
that's right.
then he's not coming out of hiding until the German is gone. So
Yeah,
then it doesn't make sense.
yeah.
So that's where you want to make your decision. Is he in this dream? Because in the last dream, he was a coward and he hid.
Mhm.
In his
Yeah.
mind, he was 9,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
there was no cowardice here. He
You're
was
right.
9,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you want to change that between the two dream sequences, he goes to hide, but then he decides that he's a Greek hero and Greek heroes don't hide, and he runs for his father, but he doesn't get there fast enough, and the German shoots his father.
Right.
While the German and the Italian are fighting, he's begging his father not to die. Then the German can grab onto his shoulder,
Okay.
right? Either way works for you. You just have to decide what
Yeah. Okay.
emotional
Good.
weight you want to put
Good.
on it.
Good. Good.
But that I think will help you with the timeline on the last part to again get to that place where the Margot is shaking him, saying, wake up, wake up. But all he feels is the hand on his shoulder. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Great.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
again, really, really great work. The
Thank you.
two things that I would recommend is the voice of a child and making sure in these moments as the kid is walking, we understand how he feels, because that's going to keep us on the journey with him. It's going to help us feel what you spent all this time in the beginning doing, which is the pride that he feels that his mother asked him to do this mission,
Right.
right?
Right. Good.
That's what we want to feel all the way through.
Perfect. Thank
So,
you.
Nice
Yep.
job on this.
Thank you. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and turn the recording off.
Okay.
I have to stop sharing first. I do that every time.
Okay, that was Laura's conversation with Denis. I hope that you got some things out of it for your own work, some thoughts on your dream sequences, some considerations of your child voices. And hopefully you can apply some things to what you're writing this week. Come check things out at dialoguedoctor.com. We would love for you to join the community. Go to dialoguedoctor.com/community or go to patreon.com/Jeff Elkins. Next week, I will be on with the fantastic Tom Holbrook for a Time with Tom. Anyway, that's it for this week, though. Go get those words on the page, everybody. Happy writing.